real quick.
Yeah. We're not going to waste any time. We're getting right into it. Mm-hmm. It's Tuesday Night Live. This is 94 Feet of Life. This is Trav in the building. Big Shot Ron in the building. Hopefully we got a couple more folks join us tonight. But we're going to talk about this NCAA tournament. We were at 68 teams. Now we down to 16 already. So, fellas, let's get into it, man.
It don't take nothing but a weekend.
It don't take nothing but a weekend. So, your favorite games, your favorite moments, players that have stood out. You know how we do it, man. You got to raise your hand.
You know what? That Virginia deal, that kind of shocked me a little bit. That guard did something that nobody. It shocked. He played like he had some money on that game.
Oh man.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. I told y'all earlier last week, Princeton gonna get somebody.
You did say that.
Yes. They didn't get not one. They got two.
You know, the thing, we talked about this over the weekend, especially with late game situations, poor execution, you know, just from the guard play, the turnovers. We saw teams who didn't turn the ball over like at that volume, uncharacteristically turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
And they at the crib.
Yep.
It's kind of it's not really a whole lot of science to this when we get at this time of year. We're talking single elimination. It's no room for error, and we saw some results of it. And as we look across the rest of the bracket, it's like we got pretty much one region that's kind of like very close to chalk, like 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Midwest, right?
Well, you got the Midwest is one. No, the Midwest is Houston at 1, Miami at 5, Xavier at 3, Texas at 2. So the Midwest is pretty much going to form. The West didn't go to form. We had 2 number 1 seeds out of there. The first weekend, Kansas gets eliminated. Number 1 in the West. Purdue gets eliminated, number 1 in the Midwest. The East, excuse me. But you're right, Ian. I thought that the story of the first weekend was, you talk about offensive execution. There was some really poor shooting game. A lot of teams, it was still exciting basketball. I was still glued to my seat, but you had a lot of poor shooting nights.
I think Iowa State shot like 20%.
Yeah, they had a terrible shooting night.
Right.
But you also see, too, and it's strange. You have the poor shooting nights, but then you also have no lead is safe. So we saw teams walk down deficits. And I thought despite the poor shooting, the amount of big shots that were made.
Yeah, because we hadn't had a classic game. We had some classic moments. We put on the classic moments list, but nothing is like rank off as like, it's one of the better tournament games in a while. Not yet, at least, anyway. But it was good hooping. Good quality 4 days of hooping.
it was exciting. Now it was not boring. There were very few games that were boring. It was not maybe the best quality play, but they were boring. And
that's college basketball, all right.
That's the best. It's college ball. Now, I want to talk about some of the players though, because despite some spotty shooting and such, there were some guys who I thought just stood out to me. And I want to start with, we got to start Manhattan, Kansas. And the guy who was literally the shortest player in the tournament, literally the shortest. But you talk about a performance for the ages, and that was Marquise Noel versus Kentucky.
He really been that all season.
Yeah.
He really has been that for them all season. It's just, you get it up. Well, I mean, Kansas State played on ESPN and offline. So, can't say he ain't been having the stage, but this is a different stage, though, when you get to March. And it's like all eyes on everything. And across from you on the other side, when it's a big bad giant in Kentucky, it kind of raises the stakes on there, puts the spotlight a little bit more on there. And he got that dog in him, as the kids like say. And he showcased just such, man. I mean, he refused to let his team lose a whole lot this year. And Sunday was another example.
He was poised, fearless. Some of the passing, I think sometimes something that gets underrated in today's game because it's so much pick and roll, because it's so isolation heavy. Guys, a guy who could really deliver the rock. And he had 2 straight possessions. He went behind his back the one time on the break. Then the other time he went between his legs. It looked like the All-Star game in '87. He
played exactly like a point. He played exactly like a guard supposed to play in order to win the national championship.
Yeah.
And like who was that boy group back in the day, ABC? He get his beat at the playground.
At the playground.
His game straight playground.
He's
nice with it, so
he is, and it's appropriate that he's from Harlem. He is from Rucker Park, because the stuff that he does is very Rucker Park, but it works.
But it's got substance. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing of it. It ain't just the flash and and the hype with it. You know what I'm saying? It's got substance with what he's trying to do, and it's like he ain't overdoing it. He's making it make sense.
Right, and it's the thing, like an underrated skill is, and Trav talked about being a point guard, where he's supposed to play. Delivering the ball to a guy where all he has to do is lay it up. He don't have to do nothing. And the amount of times Noel put that ball right in the guy's spot to just lay it up or just shoot it. You don't have to do nothing else.
You get no better than that.
The 5 P's of life, man, on the other side, was not applied to the Kentucky Wildcats to not know about that guy. We talked about this in a group.
Now, Trav, what you think? Now, you a Kentucky guy, so I'm asking, did Cal really not know his name, or is that salt?
Both. It's both. He probably didn't know his name, but you just don't say it. Big Shot. I guess we on YouTube, and I'm not cursing right now. But let's just use this scenario. You having fun in the ATL. We see you with the Damon Stoudemire shirt. You walking, having fun on campus. All of a sudden, this white guy calls you the N-bomb. He don't know you from a grain of salt. How would you feel?
It'd be
Now
pretty.
remember, it will make you mad. No way you discrediting me. You talking about me. You don't know my name. You don't know nothing. And that comment showed again the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. He did not prepare Kentucky to play Kansas State, but Coach Tang was prepared to whoop their ass. And that's
because if
exactly
he was
what happened.
prepared, he would have do home and night.
Exactly.
I don't see how you blank out on a piece of information. Okay.
Yeah.
That happens. But you can't tell me when you was in the scout report, you didn't say, hey, number 1 was the 3rd leading assist man in the country.
That's all he had to say right there, Big Shot. He didn't even have to say his name because as we talk, when we say number 23, it's only 2 people we talking about. Who we talking about, y'all? We talking about either LeBron or Jordan.
Or Jordan.
I mean, do we even have to say it?
Do we even have to say it? All he had to do is say that young man's number. Well, look, number one tore our ass up. He could have said that.
But he said the little kid made a 3. Like that's all.
The little kid made a 3 at a clutch time. No.
He did a lot more.
No, it's a lot more than he did. He did a lot more than that. He did a lot more than that.
See, we're less. We need less on the show right now, just for this point that I'm about to make. He probably would agree with me on this. Just the disrespect of the small guard that you have by John like this. His last time he disrespected the small guard, it cost him a national championship. When he didn't fucking play Tyler Hughes. When the white boys in Wisconsin and that black dude named Nigel out-hooped him.
Yeah.
I'm saying that too because I was a small guard, so I got to represent.
I think I gotta side with both y'all. I think Cal, for some reason, didn't prepare them to play.
He didn't prepare. They wasn't prepared, man. If he like again, what Hal said, if he was prepared, he would have known that man number. He would have known that man name. He did not prepare. That statement showed that he was not prepared to play that. He did not have them guys prepared.
Because to me, you see the preparation is y'all tried to trap him. How many times? The trap worked. Never. He was like, "Oh, that's a trap. Oh, I'm scared now."
He would dart through the full defense like Pistol Pete was on that old Family Channel movie that they made about. They couldn't Pistol Pete on the boy at all. That's how he looked going through the post defense.
Listen, they couldn't have guarded him. They could have had him in a phone booth with a GPS on his ankle. They wouldn't have guarded him.
It wouldn't have mattered. You just, again, the better team won because the team wasn't prepared. It's just that simple. It's really that simple. Like, it's no X's and O's. It's just, I'm better than you because I was better prepared for the situation than you was.
Now, on the flip side, talk about my next favorite player in this tournament. And yes, the old man jokes are relevant. But my guy, Drew Timme.
Oh, my God.
Listen, we know he's been in college 100 years. I don't think Drew is going to be a great NBA player. He probably could play overseas for a long time, but that doesn't matter. Drew is one of them. In this tournament, in this college thing, Drew has been one of them guys. I don't know what happens at the next level or doesn't happen.
It's one of them. He is one of them. He didn't make it to the national championship game for nothing. last year. Well, year before, whenever they played Baylor.
What I
No.
like about it, is that he's very profane in post game interviews.
Uncle Drew.
Yeah, he dropped the F bomb the other night in the post game interview. Not at the presser. I'm talking about on court. You know what I'm saying? They get you right.
He that old.
Hey.
But you talk
He
about
that old. He been around for he is junior or senior?
He is senior.
He been around.
He gotta be a senior. God, I can't believe that he was just a sophomore.
Yeah.
And you know the problem with that? He actually could come back to school another year.
2020. Got a fifth year.
Yeah, he could.
Got a fifth year off.
If he wanted to.
He got a fifth year off. 2020.
If he wanted to do the internship for another year, he could.
Grad school.
But right, he might go, turn pro and go abroad, see the world a little bit, have some fun. Yeah, whatever. But for what, like you said, he's really established himself as being one of those of his generation.
He's
what I'm saying, in college basketball.
He's one of the best college players in the last 5
Right.
years. If you had to,
yeah.
But and Ham, you appreciate this because Ham, you watch, and I'm very clear. I'm not saying he is this, but if you watch guys like Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, guys who can catch the ball and guys who have feet. He ain't jumping over a phone book, but he catches it. His footwork is unbelievable. He got great goal.
Who he remind me of is what was the name of that conference at the time? Were they the WAC? He remind me of like WAC Keith Van Horn.
Yeah.
95, 96 style, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just a hooper, you know what I'm saying? Ain't a whole lot of flash to it. Ain't no athleticism, but just basketball.
Dude, Keith somewhat had a little sauce in Utah.
Keith had a little sauce, and Drew got a little sauce too because he cussed too much. So it's just one of them where it just kind of come natural.
Go ahead,
but Keith did have a little flavor. I can agree with that.
Keith had a little flavor. What he kind of reminds you of, and I wish my guy was here on earth to root me on with this, and that's your pops, J Ham. But he kind of reminds me of a Minnesota Kevin McHale.
He would agree.
I know he
would. Minnesota Golden Gopher Kevin McHale. Yeah, I would agree with that.
He's a fundamentally sound player, like you said.
He don't play the five like Kevin did,
but just the post work. The post work,
right.
The fakes. He gonna give you 2 or 3 fakes. Yes.
The skill with the footwork and the whole package, right.
And you know what about Drew? How many times do we see guys get like the amount of block charge calls has been amazing. Mm-hmm. You watch Drew don't pick up charges.
Out of control.
Drew don't pick up over the back fouls because he understands position.
Mm-hmm.
He plays off 2 feet very well.
He plays off angles. He plays off 2 feet. He's something else, man.
You know what? If Larry Brown was coaching in today's game, he could play somewhere with Larry Brown because he played the game the right way. He played, like you said, he playing through angles, you know what I'm saying? It's little fundamental stuff that he got great basketball habits.
Yes.
But he don't wow you with nothing that he do athletically, which is why I think he'll mess around and have like a double-digit year career. Might be journeyman, but he gonna get a 401k in the NBA. I mean,
Drew,
you know, bro.
You look, like I said, he doesn't wow you, but then you look up and it's 9 for 16 from the floor. They're 6 of 6 on the foul line. There's 24 points. There's 9 rebounds.
It may take for him to be in Detroit for this to happen, or something like that, or Houston or something, but like I said on 98.5 when I be on Fridays on 11:30, somebody got to score 25 and take the L in this league.
Yeah, somebody got to get numbers.
Somebody got to get numbers, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it's part of the project.
It is. It is.
So I look at the teams that are remaining. So I did a bracket at the crib. I didn't enter it anywhere, just my own personal. 8 out of 16 left. I got nobody in the East region, not one. Not one team in the East did I get right. Not one. But I look at this thing, and Trav, you talked about Kansas State. But now that when you look at Purdue going down, Kansas going down, Arizona going down, to me, this really opens it up now for a Kansas State. I think it opens up for Kansas State. I think if you are like Houston, I think now with Kansas gone, if you are UCLA, who kind of had, now UCLA has had some kind of real spotty performances. But now that Kansas is gone, Purdue is gone, Arizona's gone, I think if you're Houston, I think this thing has really opened up for some people. So, Trav, I know you talked about your bracket in our little pre-show. You had 9 out of 16. Of your original Final Four picks, how many of your original Final Four picks are left? Let's start with that.
3.
Okay, who's left?
Bama, Marquette, and Houston.
Marquette lost.
Well, 2. My bad. Marquette did. Dang. Well, here's the thing. Marquette lost to Michigan State. I think, okay, first of all, the bracket gods, for some odd reason, y'all always put Michigan State in and they always make it to a Sweet 16.
Yeah.
They can be 15-15 for the year and be put out of the Big Ten tournament at the second round. They still gonna get a 7th, 8th, or 9th seed, and they're gonna make it to the Sweet 16.
16, yeah.
They're gonna do. So I'm gonna make this bold prediction myself. Whoever wins that Marquette and Kansas State game, they're going to the Final Four.
You mean Kansas State, Michigan?
Kansas State, Michigan State. I say Kansas, yeah. Kansas State, Michigan State. That's who's going to the Final Four.
I agree, actually. Michigan State, let me tell you, so there's 2 things I'm never going to do, y'all. I'm never picking Purdue again. Greg Jones, we love you. I know that's your alma mater, but no, we can't do it.
Shit, Greg probably ain't picking them.
I agree. And Ham, you a historian too. You know this too. The article I do not want to see get written next year. We get to about Christmas. I don't want to hear what's wrong with Michigan State at Christmas time ever again.
They do it every year. It's every year. Every year.
Michigan State be 10-9. What's wrong with Michigan State? Nothing.
Hey, you know what? And I'm looking at them and I'm like, this is the same team that like got walked down for like 10 down in 40 seconds in Iowa City that day and lost their game in overtime. Like a couple of weeks ago. Like very recent.
Before the tournament.
Right. This was like 2 or 3 weeks before, about like 2 weeks before League Conference tournament week, before championship. I come home, I'm like, okay, these folks finna wrap this shit up. I go get some wings and come back to these folks at the OT. I'm like, they were just up 9.
Oh, got walked down, man.
When
Fuck that
Iowa
one.
brought Caitlin Clark into the game, she shot, knocked down a couple triples, whatever. How this happened? But they get to this point, and it's like, hey man, dude got whatever kind of formula that these dudes buy into because they out hooped a really good Marquette team the other day.
You did.
Out hooped. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no real rhyme or reason to it. Marquette, those uncharacteristic turnovers that I was talking about earlier, Marquette was one of the victims of those. You know what I'm saying? Where they wasn't having a whole lot of that, but they doubled, probably tripled what they normally average on that particular day, and they didn't respond with it. And as a result, they got out hoop. You know what I'm saying? It was just a tough loss.
Exactly.
But Trav and Jam, Michigan, they do this every year.
Yeah. I listened to my stoppage time, guys. Shout out to stoppage time.
Shout out to them.
It was something that you mentioned on that show one time. You said it was a certain manager. It don't matter what league he in, but when he's in this particular field, in this particular bracket, he just know how to win.
Know what he do.
That is Tom Izzo in this field of 68. You put him in with the type of players that can give him everything he got. He's going to get them at least to the 16. They're getting out the weekend. They're getting out the first weekend every time.
And it's crazy because when he has higher seeds, when he's like a 1, 2, or 3, they struggle. But if he in that 5, 6, or 7,
he hidden. He hidden. They ain't worried about Michigan State. They ain't worried about, but they coming in hitting you in the face every time. Hitting in the face.
But they get out, they gonna get out. They're gonna be 19-12 like they are this year. They're gonna be the 6, 7 seed in your bracket, and they're gonna be out the first weekend. They making arrangements for the next weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is.
Now, I would be remiss, and I don't want to talk about it too much because we don't talk about because we don't like to get into the blame game. We talked about Kentucky a little bit. But I did want to get Ham's take on, and this is another reason why y'all should listen to us. Ham told y'all last week, he said, do not look at the fact that they are a 9 seed. He said, them folks won 31 games this year. He said, I don't get it. And Ham was the first one to say, he said, I am concerned. Because anybody who wins that many games is a problem.
And here's why. When you got a team across from you with that type of, with 30 wins, granted it's Conference USA, but it's 30 wins. And they got some veteran dudes. You got veteran dudes too. But you can't afford the mistakes that they will be, especially with, the people that's handling the basketball. Your perimeter guys, your guards. And Florida Atlantic came out smoking. They were shooting the rock early. You know what I'm saying? But you had a good game of runs early. And then when you get to the latter portion of it's what I hope I don't offend nobody with this, but it's funny because this is what Pop used to call a Chinese fire drill. That end game sequence where everybody just scrambled and the ball is just a whole lot of shit just going on. That's what that was at the end. You know what I'm saying? All the way up to where you speak of controversy of whether Memphis got a timeout in before the actual basketball was tied up with it. Either here or there. My people in Memphis, look, even before you go there, as soon as I saw the cross court pass from Kendrick Davis, like you knew it. You knew that was it.
That pass, I watched that pass get made so many times in the women's and men's tournament. It never gets, never.
All weekend, no matter what the game situation is, whatever, it's just whatever. For one, they don't put no zip on it.
It's just air. It's just air.
It's just flow. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as I seen it flow, I said, "Hey, they lost this one."
Yeah. I gotta get that. It don't take number 3 where that person be at. It don't take no about 2 or 3 good strides, and you right there.
What did I say last week on the show? Shit, they might be at home Saturday.
At home.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's why I meant, and this is why one of the reasons why, apart from the fact that I just love it, why you watch conference tournament play. You watch it because you want to see these teams that win that many games, them 30-win teams. That's not a fraudulent 30.
Mm-hmm.
You are doing something consistently well all year long to win 30. And Florida Atlantic comes in. They get to nod over Memphis. They get to nod over Farley Dickinson. Now they playing in New York.
Right there.
Right? You know,
playing Tennessee, right?
They playing great. They play in Tennessee.
They had a good Tennessee squad. They can beat, to be honest.
Physical.
Trash.
It's gonna be physical.
Let me tell you something.
Physical team.
All of y'all who say, man, this new era of basketball is soft. That Duke Tennessee game,
physical,
and that Kansas State Kentucky game were 2 of the most physical games I have seen in a while.
Better get your band-aids. Better get your band-aids, man, because them folks hit it. Them folks hit it. Physical. Icy hot, band-aids, wrap with the little metal part, the brown wrap with the little metal piece to keep the wrap together. You need all
that. The attention you need.
And you talk about in that South region, Alabama, San Diego State.
That's going to be
I look at that one right there. That's their only hurdle in terms of them getting to Houston. That's their main. They get through that one. Whoever they get off the other side with, that they got the Creighton Princeton one.
Yeah,
that's what I was about to say.
Should be.
I watched that. I don't know what made me watch the Smart People Tournament. But Princeton's good, y'all. Princeton is good. They're good. They don't give no athletic scholarships. You got to have a 3.5 just to be on a team.
It is the classic. They're not going to beat themselves.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. They play basketball. And let the Princeton Tigers be there. You're gonna see Carlton Banks up there.
Uncle Phil already
looking down on them.
That's why they had the Sweet 16 there, because Uncle Phil dudes turn. Paid out for something, you know.
Now, so this is my revised Final Four, because, like I said, shout out Purdue. So 3 of my Final Four are still alive: Alabama, Houston, Gonzaga. I'm going with Trav. The winner of Kansas State, Michigan State is going to be the East champion.
Yeah,
I really think that.
I really think that's going to be. So give me. I'm gonna get on the. I'm with the Tang gang right now. You know, Coach Les. Shout out to Coach Les. He told us for a couple weeks. He was like, Kansas State. I'm telling you, they got something going. I'm going with Kansas State as my fourth Final Four team. I'm going Alabama, Kansas State, Houston, Gonzaga in the Final Four.
And shout out to Coach Tang being a finalist for the National Coach of the Year award.
Yeah.
Man. Give me. Where we going? The South and the East playing, right?
Yeah, South and the East.
I'll take Bama from the South. Give me Kansas State from the East. From the West, you know what? In the West region, we got two white coaches that's married to black women. It's been a bit of a stalemate here with this, you know. And then Mark Few, I gotta give him his props for catching the DUI. I kind of want to give him love, you know what I'm saying? And then Danny Hurley, he just don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Danny Hurley. It's cool. West is kind of tough, man. So I'm gonna go with UCLA from out the West.
Okay.
And they gonna rock with some other cats. Whoever wins Houston and Texas. That's the one.
Houston,
the winner of the Midwest region.
You know what other game? I don't think we talked about it, but it's gonna be one of them ones. It's that West region game. It's that 8-4 seed, Arkansas and UConn.
I think those are the best two games this weekend. Are both.
Ooh, you talking about they match? If you look at those teams, they mirror each other a lot.
Athletic.
Yeah.
They got athletic. They got an athletic freak guard. Both of them. Number 44 for UConn. And what's my guy name? McCoy? I can't think of that boy name.
Arkansas, you got Council. You got Council.
That's why I said McCoy. Council. That's what Council and number 44.
Yeah, Council about that action.
The number 44 for UConn is about that action.
Yeah,
he got
that
Jordan
action for real.
Yes.
You talking about the
number 44 for UConn.
I didn't want to pull a sheet on him like she did Rondo, the African kid.
No, we ain't gonna do that. No, but number 44 for UConn got some. He can go. He can go. I'm talking about freak athlete. Freak.
They ain't got them right though. I like that UConn squad. Every time I watch them, I be like, yo, they straight.
Dude, I seen the man do a dunk one time, man. I think he glitched through the basket because his chest was still there. It's like he went through it. I swear to God, man. Dude, cold. Dude, a freak athlete.
Yeah. Arkansas, UConn. I think both those West games, Arkansas, UConn, and Gonzaga, UCLA.
Yeah, the West gonna be cool.
It's gonna be.
That's good read. And it's almost was chalk too. Arkansas spoiled the chalk.
That was almost. Now we talk about another player because I had my in the Facebook group, 94 Feet of Life, join it. I had my all tournament team. We talked about Timmy, talked about Noel. Mm-hmm. But man, I think Brandon Miller. Listen, as long as we know about what happened off the court, tragic. It looks like he wasn't really involved in it, so we're gonna leave that to the side. As a player, man, he's playing like. Now the only difference is Alabama spreads the wealth out a little bit, so he doesn't get as many. When he gets,
what does he do?
It really looks like he really reminds me of Carmelo at Syracuse. Like
they got a motherfucking squad though.
I hate it. I hate they got, but you got to get to. They are the good.
Squad,
dude.
Watching them dudes, I'm like, all them about this action.
All of them good. The point guard, bright skin cat, point guard.
Yeah, Quinn Lee.
Quinn,
Good.
yeah.
You can go.
And they all about that 4-round one action because that big, all he want to do is roll.
All of them can let it fly.
Right.
They all can
All
handle.
of them can let it fly.
Like they play like 9-10. A lot of teams don't have that depth that they have.
Man.
Yeah.
Dude.
They are.
They don't just spent that Affleck money down there. They got that Affleck. I ain't mad at it either.
Saving the tip them a little bit, ain't it?
Right, do what you gotta do. You're gonna look around Alabama gonna be in the College World Series too.
Man,
Affleck.
dude, you talking about Miller though, for him to have the distractions that a young man has on his plate.
He stayed laser focused with that.
Yeah.
You know how you can be so good, you can be so laser focused that something like that can actually go away. He acting like he's playing that way. Like he's so focused, it's gone.
You would have saw a crack, I think, in a whole lot of kids.
Right.
Not him.
All that stuff came about, you know.
Not him.
That's what leads me to believing again. I have no idea how the case is gonna go.
Right.
Yes.
It leads me to believe that maybe his involvement was not, because I think if his involvement, again, and this is me speculating, I don't know. I think if it was anything more, it would be really hard to play that well.
Yes.
If anything more. I put like to you this. If there's anything more involved, that makes him like real different.
He on drugs. If there's something else involved, he's on drugs. He's on something. There's no way. No, it's no way. It's no way you could
have that.
That's a different. That's a different mindset. That's a different mindset.
Exactly.
It's a totally different.
But
I'm gonna tell you like this. Kobe didn't do this.
That's the only person you can compare it to.
That's the only person you can. And Kobe didn't even play. He played good.
That's really the only.
He didn't play
only,
like we know Kobe to play. This man had a rape case on him.
And actually, he really was one of those things.
Yeah,
that's the closest one. He's the closest one.
That's what I'm saying. He's Brandon Miller, like he's playing that. We talked about in the draft coming up, Victor, then Scoot. I don't know if it's Victor, then Scoot. If I'm a team and everything with him checks out, it checks out clear. Whoever ends up with number 2, it might be.
What would it be? What, 6'9"?
6'9", 60. You can list him at 6'10" if he play a little bit better, but
we know how 6'10" is very agitated.
I got the proof. The proof is in the pudding in Boston, man. I'm telling y'all, man. The proof is in the pudding in Boston. I try to tell y'all, man. Y'all didn't want to listen to me. But you see what's happening. You see what's happening in Boston.
I ain't saying a word. I'm just letting you ride.
Trav round down. And we gonna get Trav a job at the pre-draft camp. We gonna let him be the measurement man.
Look, if y'all watch,
he's not 6'9", he's 6'8.25".
If y'all watch Blue Chip, they said it. They said it on Blue Chip when they list Shaq at 6'7'3". They had to add 2 more inches to put the fear into the opponent's eye. He's Shaq is 7'1". Shaq is not 7'3". Hey, you give me these posts later, man. Can't give him 2 inches just to be give him 2 inches.
Before we cut out, take a couple minutes, fellas. Have y'all watched it? Have y'all got some of the women's action?
Yeah.
Man, Ole Miss took down a giant, Stanford.
At Stanford.
At Stanford.
A road game, basically a road game.
Somebody else got beat also.
Miami beat Indiana.
Shout out to Miami. Shout out to Miami, men and women.
And
for
women
beating Indiana, men and women.
Hey, man, them folks when they played a high school game, they the boys and girls. They took their bus ride home together cheering. Them folks went to Bloomington, mad as hell, boy.
Went to Bloomington and took some, but
folks,
it was just, that's what I caught last night on. I was watching that one before I fell asleep. But I tried to watch South Carolina. I think I went to Kroger. They were being challenged when I got back from Kroger. Challenge was over.
reality kicked in, man. That's what it was.
South Carolina is like they let you live for like the first 8 minutes of the game.
Right.
And then about halfway through and then by the end of the first quarter, it's like, all right, we done playing with you. We out.
Filling them folks out, man. They be filling them out, man. Next thing you know, Dawn make that adjustment, send them dogs, and they be dead on that.
Yeah. And they play, what they do is they play around Aaliyah Boston really well. Like they don't force feed her, but they play around her really well.
They use her in a lot of ways, like how Kentucky used AD during the tournament. She just pretty much was like ski mask, like how AD was. She was doing a lot of the ski mask stuff. Not necessarily running through them, but revolving around them. What I'm saying? It's like they're the center of the sun and everything just revolving around. It works. It's championship formula, especially when you got the kind of dogs all throughout, the lineup like that. This being or women.
And another good women's game Saturday is going to be Notre Dame and Maryland.
Yeah.
Again, I forgot the little girl name, but she hurt her knee.
Olivia Miles.
She's playing.
I don't think she's playing.
Man, I don't know how they doing it. But she's the real deal. Olivia Miles is the real deal.
With the playmaking as a rebounder. So how they make up for her absence, I think, is going to be tough. Now, I'm going to tell you my favorite moment of the tournament. Yeah, and Coach Les showed us this in the group today. Listen, this is my rule. If you get smoked by 22 points on your own floor, you can't say nothing. And a girl from Texas try to run up on there's a girl Lily from Louisville.
Dan Lee or something like yeah.
I'm watching it.
Listen. She chased you out your building. Leave her alone.
Got chased through the building.
Leave her alone.
Back in 88. Get chased through the building.
Oh, not chased through the building, man.
They got ran.
Louisville ran them out that building.
Yeah, they did.
Only thing left at Texas was that assistant coach for Texas. That was it.
Listen, we tried. We did not feel like try to keep it really on the basketball. We really try to not be that.
First ballot.
Listen.
First ballot.
I think her name is Coach Carter. Shout out Coach Carter.
First ballot.
We might have to get on the show because our man G2, he know a little bit of everybody. G2 might be able to get her for us.
Yeah. We have to use G2. G2 is our media relations person.
Yeah, G2 is our he the sports information director for 94. Man.
Yeah.
I do want to actually get us some guests from the women's game. I think that actually would be kind of dope. So we might have to really legitimately have that conversation with G2 on the side.
We got a couple of them in the group too, and we may have to make some calls. We're going to make some calls.
Yeah,
we're going to.
Because I haven't followed the women's game as tough as I had them in. My fault. This is just gonna be my wish. Basketball guys, I know y'all listen to the show. I know y'all don't always give us what we want. Trav, look at the bracket. Tell me if this is possible. Is it possible to get UConn, South Carolina too?
Let me pull that up real quick.
Final Four or for the national title?
That's what I'm looking for. I want to say yes.
Because if that's possible still, that's what I want.
I want to say yes, but give me just a moment. I'm putting it up as we speak. South Carolina. Yes, that can actually happen.
That's what I want.
That's the semifinal.
Because you got on the, let me look at this. On the Greenville side, you have Miami, Villanova, LSU, and Utah. Notre Dame, and Maryland. Hold up. Am I looking at this right? South Carolina. South Carolina. And did UConn lose?
UConn did.
I don't think. Hold up. Okay. Now I'm good now. Virginia, you got Virginia Tech, Tennessee. Yes, it can happen. Ohio State and UConn. Yes, they're on opposite sides.
Yeah, that's what I want. I'm here for Dawn and whatever. I think Dawn went to J-Ham closet and just went and found one of them throwbacks from 2000.
Did you see the one? Did you see the one she had with the Vivians? Yes. Oh my God.
That's super tough. I might have wore that myself, to be honest.
Shout out to Dawn because she the first and only coach to do that. You know what I'm saying? Interstate, regular season game, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? She gonna rock something different. You know what I'm saying? I respect it. You know what I'm saying? It's always something relative to the culture too. So you know what I'm saying? It's dope.
We know that phrase "for the culture" gets overused a lot, but it's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's a meaning. It's a meaning within everything she wears.
Yep.
Super Bowl Philly jersey.
Right. See what I'm saying? It's like it's all something within it. You know what I'm saying? Or it's something. What she had? The Randall joint on, the Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham, and she had the Vivian's team. Young number 44. She had that jersey on.
The Cheney State jersey.
Right.
And then remember her national championship game wear.
Oh my God.
Listen, Dawn outfits got meaning.
Very much meaning. Meaning and money. That's what it is.
Yeah. Dawn just don't wake up and just pick random stuff out the closet. It's a purpose. It's a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get up out of here. Next week, we'll be previewing the Final Four.
And we got to get everybody on. So
we got to
sit in there.
I'm trying to get as many black coaches in the Final Four as I possibly can. If not black coaches, give me the white coaches that's married to black women. Just count them too. This is really what my picks have come down to. You see why I got it? Houston versus Texas. The winner of the Midwest region is we might not even get there.
You know what?
Just what I'm saying.
Tang versus Samson don't sound too bad.
No, I can mess with that.
Tang versus Samson, Kevin Samson is not bad at all.
But I can also mess with another round of
Houston versus the Aflac money.
That was my pick.
That's where I think that's what everybody is leaning towards. That's like 1A and 1B.
Because that Aflac money cashed in that day in Houston. This time it'll be at a different venue in Houston.
Yeah, I think Houston, especially if Sasser now with some days off, start to feel a little better. I think they can kind of get back to what they were. But Miami, one of them just, they're just kind of just rogue teams. Like they
got a bucket with Isaiah Wong. He'll go get you 25, 30.
Larry Nagle just know how to get them guys to play. He on that Mike Izzo, he on that Tom Izzo type time.
Yeah, he's kind of Izzo.
Yeah. Larry Nagle gets them guys to play. I don't know how.
Yeah.
That man had Shane Larkin out there killing, man.
Shout out Shane Larkin, man. Y'all be bringing up some name, boy. Speaking of, I think it was the AT&T commercial. I saw Greg Oden and Adam Morse.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that.
Like, shout out Adam.
Get the NIL money.
NIL money.
15, 20 years later.
Big shot.
Hey, you know what? Has anybody cut Ed O'Bannon the NIL?
You know what? That's who needed.
He should have got the first one.
He should have got the first big check. But big shot, before we leave, Houston and Bama, the way you put it, I'm just going to say 2003 national championship. Remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hakeem Ward.
Nuh-uh.
That's
Jeff Graves.
Yeah, as far as those guys, but that Kansas team, that Kansas team,
Langford.
That Kansas team was a grown team.
They were very grown. They were very grown.
First of all, shout out Keith Langford, though.
Keith Langford.
Yeah.
And what's we got? Rush? Rush was there too.
Rush wasn't there yet.
He wasn't there yet, right?
Rush won a championship.
So it was
Rush was there 5 years later when they won it all.
Who was on that team?
This is Kirk Howard, Nick Collison.
Was that Wayne?
Aaron Miles, Wayne Simeon, Keith Langford, Jeff Graves. That was them.
03 team. That
was that crew.
And
that was Roy's last Kansas team.
Then you turn around and got Jerry McLemore.
You know what?
Dwayne.
Because he cussed out Bunny Bernstein after the game, pretty much. So we're going to Carolina, and he went to Carolina.
I like Roy. That was such a bogus moment.
Yeah, that was
come on, right?
Yeah.
But asking the question that, one, everybody in America wanted to know, and two, you knew you was leaving. Come on, Roy.
All he had to do was pull up like what Paul Sanders did about Eric Snow. He don't want to talk about Eric Snow. I want to talk about North Carolina. That's all they had to do. But see, Roy was tripping that night. I agree.
Yeah, Roy had a guilty conscience, man.
Guilty feet ain't got no rhythm, Roy. You know what it is. Shout out to George Michael.
Shout out. Listen, we'll be back next week. We're going to preview the Final Four. I think we're going to preview the Final Four next week, and then we're going to take a little peek because, fellas, we 2 weeks away. We're going to be 2 weeks away from the end of the regular.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about the other day. These late nights. I'm going to have to catch some of them 9:30 games in the morning. You had to catch a condensed version or something, man. You know, some of them stuff is painful, man. They be hurt, man. Then folks be want to go to overtime. And, come on, man.
Let me ask you.
He said, "Folks, we want to go to overtime." Like
that shit is deep, you know. Dave want to get 56, and you know, like, come on, Dave.
We may be sitting here not having to, you got a choice. What if we staying up late for Sacramento? We're going to be staying up late for Sacramento Kings playoff basketball.
You see what I'm saying? One night I'm going to do it too. One night I'm going to
it is.
The whole game.
I'm going to give y'all a sneak preview. Sacramento Golden State might be the
pure war. That shit will be a war. Somebody gonna fight.
I feel guilty on this. And shout out to Mike Brown. I've been waiting for Sacramento to go on like lose 8 out of 10. It ain't happened. Ain't happened all year.
Motherfuckers 6-10, 5-10, 7-10, second place in the West.
Consistent.
I feel like I owe it to them to at least stay up one late night and watch them in the offs.
On
the night where I gotta be night where I gotta be at work at 4 a.m. the next morning.
They've probably been the most consistent team in the West. Like Denver has had hot streaks with a couple little cold streaks. Sacramento has not really had like a big hot streak, but they haven't had a cold streak either.
Have you recalled them losing 5 in a row?
Nope.
Not this year.
Nope. Them
folks saying that they had, but it don't come to no recollection.
They have been on a steady diet of winning 6 out of 10.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna find that out.
They just win 6 out of 10. We just gonna win every 10 game. We gonna win 6.
That's how Hubert said he used to break his team down season wise too. He said we're gonna take them in 10 game increments. We're gonna try to win 6 or 7 or 10 each time out. At least get 5. Guess what, guys? We do that enough. We got 50 wins.
Exactly.
Hubert was doing quick. Hubert didn't need start style of math to figure that out.
And there you have it. So next week, Final Four preview. We're gonna take a peek back into the association. We got 2 weeks left there. We said it's the most fun time of the year, but it's heating up. We right there for you. Big shout out to Trav, shout out to Ham, Worldwide Les, MJ, friends of the program, G2, Germ, 94 Field Life, basketball for the people, by the people. We out.